You've called it the political holy grail, that actually it's the low-hanging fruit here for the GOP. Others are saying actually, as a result of some of the chaos that we've seen, the likelihood is higher now that they get something done because it's about political survival. Would you agree? And do you think if they don't manage to get this done, actually Congress for the GOP is at risk in the midterms? Is it that bad?
I'm very bullish that tax reform can and should get done for this reason. The Republicans control the Congress. They've been running around the country for a decade telling their donors, their benefactors, their supporters, if we ever get in control, we will do this. And by the way, intellectually and politically, as I mentioned, is a holy grail for the party in that regard. And for them not to do it would be a terrific failure. So I believe they will, because it's a matter of political necessity. And by the way, it's a really good idea. It's a pro-jobs, pro-economic growth, pro-investment accomplishment. So it makes good economic and policy sense as well.
Does failure to enact this cost the GOP, either the Senate or the House here? Could it be that important for them?
I don't know that it rises to that level, but if you have a failure on repealing and replacing Obamacare, and you fail to address the tax issue, and you don't do an infrastructure bill, and the economy stays anemic, and you have all this sort of distraction in the background, the sense of things in Washington are worse than ever, if that's possible, that would be very troubling. I think the Republicans, however, do have a favorable map in 2018, but even a favorable map can not always save you.
I want to ask you about the plans for deregulation as well, and then get your wisdom on this. Bloomberg analysts believe that the government deregulation that we're talking about right now could add $27 billion of gross profits to the largest 6 US banks. They could ultimately then return an additional $63 billion to shareholders if they choose to do so. Do you think that's a good outcome or a bad one, both the deregulation and the cash potentially going to shareholders?
I think the rationale for common sense adjustments to the current regulatory structure isn't so banks can make more money. That's an interesting side note, but the real reason to do it is because of the vital role that banks play in lending and thereby growing and stimulating the economy through the critical role that they play in that function. So it's nice, I suppose, for the shareholders of those companies that they'll do better, but that isn't the reason you do it. You do it to get the economy moving.